So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if what Punch newspaper is reporting is true, then we're about to witness a very interesting 2027 presidential election season. So, according to the newspaper, which headline reads, 2027 election, Atiku camp offers Obi VP role in one-term deal. So in the body of the story, the newspaper reports that there are indications that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar may have offered the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi a vice president role in the joint single-term ticket. Reliable multiple sources involved in the coalition efforts, who requested anonymity due to a lack of authorization to speak on the matter, told The Punch that the proposal was initially discussed during a meeting between Atiku and Obi early this year in the United Kingdom. The insiders disclosed that Atiku has committed to serving a single 4-year term, and Obi has agreed to be the former vice president's running mate. Now, the words to note in this paragraph is the word agreed. That Obi has agreed to be the former VP's running mate, according to the sources that the newspaper spoke to. However, the former Anambra State governor was said to be working to secure the backing of his core loyalists. Now, a party chieftain privy to the political permutations told The Punch that Atiku and Obi have come to an agreement and are now in the process of consulting with their loyalists. According to that party chieftain, you know that by this time next year, by May 2026, almost all political parties would have unveiled their presidential candidates for the 2027 election. So the coalition move is mindful of that. The leaders have all agreed that it is only a coalition between Atiku, Obi, and others that can wrest power from Tinubu. So they are crossing the T's and dotting the I's to finalize this. Atiku and Obi met earlier this year in the UK. That was where Atiku first muted the idea of a coalition and urged Obi to be his running mate. Obi then asked for time to go think it over. But when the newspaper then contacted Atiku's media aide, Paul Ibe, this is what he had to say. I know that His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi have been talking about this coalition. I cannot speak on the specific agreement they have reached. All I can tell you is that both of them are focused on ensuring that they build a viable coalition that will be robust enough to accommodate diverse Nigerians to unseat the clueless APC government in 2027. However, a loyalist to Peter Obi and the National Secretary of the Coalition of United Political Parties, Peter Ame, in response to The Punch's inquiry about whether an agreement has been finalized for Obi to be Atiku's running mate, Ame simply said, "No comment on this one until I speak with my Oga." And that's what The Punch newspaper is reporting this morning. And the only reason why I decided to share this with you is because I consider them as a very credible news organization. But even at that, I'm not even sure what to believe. But one thing is certain in my mind. None of these two men can win the presidency without the support of each other. Now, let me quickly contradict myself. Peter Obi, in fairness to him, doesn't necessarily need an Atiku Abubakar. If tired and frustrated Nigerians can come out in their mass to vote for him. However, there are a few pertinent questions to ask. Questions that would make anyone scratch their head when they come across stories like this. And the biggest question is, on what platform, what political party will an Atiku Abubakar, for instance, contest the next presidential election that will now pave way for him to pick a Peter Obi as his vice presidential candidate? Because that platform, in my opinion, doesn't look like it's going to be the PDP, as the PDP has made it clear it is not interested in any coalition. they erroneously believe they can win the presidential election without the support of any political party. Anyway, that's their own lookout. And if it's going to be the SDP that Atiku will be running, does the party have a strong enough structure to contest the national election? And would that prospect be appealing to a Peter Obi? And would that even not be playing into the hands of the ruling APC if there are too many political parties presenting all manner of candidates to run in the presidential election, which was something that played to the advantage of President Tinubu in 2023? In my view, for this rumored coalition to give the APC sleepless nights, Atiku has to emerge as the presidential candidate of the PDP. But with people like Nyesom Wike still masquerading as a member of the PDP, it's hard to see how Atiku Abubakar is going to get that PDP presidential ticket. Now, the second biggest question is, what will accepting to be Atiku Abubakar's running mate do to the political image of Peter Obi, having first contested as a presidential candidate in the last election, with some of his supporters still insisting that he won that election? Does this reduce Peter Obi's political stature? And will he still get as much support from his die-hard supporters running as VP to Atiku? Does this reduce Peter Obi's political stature? And will he still get as much support from his die-hard supporters running as the vice presidential candidate to Atiku? If you ask me, I would say it would be better for him to run again as president. The worst that will happen is that he will lose. He is still relatively young and could recontest in 2021. After all, didn't Buhari contest about 4 times before he became president? But here is what Peter Obi said about a month ago when the issue of merging with other political parties came up.
Some have speculated all sorts of things. Some have even said, oh, he has left the Labour Party. Some of us are on our way out. Some of us are on our way this. Let me assure you, we are Labour Party members. I have never discussed with any other party. If we are going to discuss with anybody, we'll discuss it jointly from our house at the Labour Party. No party will tell you that they've seen me discussing with them. And like I always say, Governor, we would sit down and discuss. Everybody, leadership, stakeholders will say, we want to be part of this. It is not Peter Obi's choice. It is choice of everybody. We must move and do everything we are doing as a family because we're choosing to be family. And this family does not exclude anybody.
But is this rumored collabo, if you like, between Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar coming too late? Honestly, if you ask me, I think Atiku and Obi may have blown up their chances in 2023. In my opinion, Tinubu is now going to even be more difficult to unseat, even if all the major political parties come together in a merger. I mean, with all the obstacles thrown his way by the Buhari administration, the man still managed to become president. And anyone thinking the merger of political parties will be enough to unseat Tinubu doesn't know what is coming. Truth is, I think President Tinubu is now even stronger and wiser. And the only thing, in my opinion, that can stop his re-election is for Peter Obi or any other candidate for that matter to provoke Nigerians that are tired of being tired to come out en masse and vote.